Hello. It's good to see you now that I'm officially awake. It seems like generic brands are just cheaper, but then again, what are you putting in your body? I haven't had iced tea in a minute, and I think it's time for me to get more tea. So, fresh tea bag. Now, here's what I'm going to do that's like a total trip. Okay, I'm not just going to leave it as just regular. Okay? Now, no. Watch this. Let's go all country, please. Things. So, basically, this counts as 2, not 1. So, if you want to just count this as a one solid thing, you're going to want 2 of these. Crank on the hot water. That bad boy heating up. So the pitcher I'm using is really not that big. So I'm going to say usually a gallon pitcher is about a cup of sugar. I'm going to put about a half cup in here. That should be enough. So, little half cup. So you got your regular tea, you got your flavored side, and you have your sugar, which is right up in there. And then, let's see here. Give this a good little stir, mix around kind of thing. Kind of tamper this stuff down. Now, I'm talking to the younger generation who's never been born in the 1990s. This is how you do this. I could boil me some water and put it right in here and get it a lot darker quicker. But if I do that, because this is plastic, I melt it. I crack it. I don't dare do that. So, we just use the hot water tap, which is just enough. And we go ahead, take our towel or some sort of lid or something, and cover it. Let it steep. Give about 15 minutes. It's still light, but I want it to get as dark as possible. So we're just going to let that go. And while we're doing our 15 minutes of waiting, I'm autistic, or AKA I have Asperger's, which is the high functioning end of autism. If you don't know what that is, Google it. All I can tell you is what I've experienced. Basically, to me, it's a social roadblock. It makes it so much harder to communicate with everybody and anybody. I am in a relationship, and sometimes it's really hard to communicate what you want or what you need without them taking it the wrong way. Like, my disability causes people to sometimes, like, misunderstand me when I say something and that's not what I meant. Or they have trouble trying to explain to me to do something, like give me a procedure to do a task or something like that, and I don't follow through. I've lost employment over this. They can't just fire you saying, "Oh, it's because of your disability. We can't hire you." No, but they can say you're being insubordinate. You're not listening. You're not getting it. You're not able to comprehend that. And so I'd be let go. So, here I am. I live on Social Security disability. I have my dreams. Schooling was so hard. I mean, especially math. I cannot pass. You think for somebody with autism, they can pass math. For the likes of me, I could not pass algebra to save my tail end. Matter of fact, I failed it every single time it came up. Except for maybe 2 classes. But beginning of when I first started college and then like high school. But that was it. Like math was not my strong suit. My mom says it was my strong suit, but I'm like, I could barely do. Tried taking college to see about doing office administration. At first I tried for diesel technology, and the instructor there had sat there and bullied me in front of the class. I had to take office administration or business administration as my major, and I figured, well, I'll transfer to SOU, which is Southern Oregon University. So I was on the track there, but I had to pass 4 more math classes, and they were high advanced algebras. I was able to pass the first easiest algebra class they had, and that was when I was in diesel technology. So I didn't have to go back and redo that class again. It was already done. But I did have to take the next one up, which was Algebra 1. I tried to pass that 3 times. Let's see. I tried to pass that 3 times. And each time I had went into the library, I had stayed up all night every night just to study it. I wrote down all my work, I turned in all my papers, I did everything possible. And I was getting good grades for that. But when it came down to those finals, or the actual test for each chapter you had to do, or each section of algebra you had to do, I'd fail it. And so when the actual final came, I'd fail the class. So I had already failed the second time, and the financial aid office said, you fail one more time, you've lost all your financial aid, your student loans, you have to pay out of pocket. Otherwise, if you can't pay out of pocket, you just got kicked out of school. I failed the 3rd class, and I busted my tail so much. College could not keep a job, and so the end result ended up with me being on disability. For the first year, I hated it because especially growing up, and I was this way growing up, I wanted to be like everybody else. I wanted to be 100% normal. I didn't want to see people looking at me like, oh, she's a freak. Oh, goodness, run. She's retarded. Because I knew I wasn't retarded. It was just, I couldn't connect. I couldn't connect those dots. It was so hard. One of the many difficult things is I have a hard time making friends. It's gotten better. But I think the reason why it's gotten better is just because I have just kind of stepped back and let the world see me first. Let them figure it out. I'll introduce myself, yeah, but it's like, nah, they need a bubble. And I'm having a hard time with that with my man currently right now. I want to spend as much time with him as possible, but that's not the case. I am in a long distance relationship, so the distance actually does help a little bit. I mean, I do have my moments where I'll break down and cry and be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. But everything fixes itself just fine, and I'm back to being centered and squared. But I have that issue with sometimes I share too much information, so occasionally he'll be like on here, why did she just say that? I didn't want to know that. So, my mom, she really had a heck of a time raising me and keeping me from ending up in situations that I should not have been in. There's been a couple times I've given her a heart attack. Sorry, Mom. Love you, Mama. Times where I've embarrassed my brother. So, yeah, I have some work. In my adult life, trying to distinguish what somebody's intentions are versus, you know, what I'm seeing. Sometimes I could take things the wrong way, and that's not what it was meant for. So, my bad to everybody who's ever met me. I do not do well with a sales associate. I don't. Because I'll go in there for one thing, tell them I want this one thing, that's it, that's all I want. And it's, well, if you want that one thing, you have to get da-da-da-da-da. Issue, or just, you know, getting the, not the latest gear, but I'm just getting, like, later models. They tried to scam you to get the brand new high tech. Recently, I tried to get me, like, a new phone, but not, like, the iPhone 15. No, I didn't want an iPhone 15. I've heard bad reviews about it, and I didn't want nothing to do with it. You know, give me an iPhone 13 or an iPhone 14. I always usually go the next one up from the phone I have. I don't go, like, straight to the top and be like, ha, I got a phone. I mean, if I drop the phone, I don't want 911 being called and saying, you know, hey, guess what? There's a wreck out at this address, and cop shows up and there's nothing. And if you listen on to the scanners here in Southern Oregon and you hear that, you're like, oh, I could see how that would be a problem for an iPhone. That it can detect that, but if you're not driving and you accidentally drop your phone, pretty sure I don't want the cops called. So yeah, me and sales associates don't go hand in hand. So I would have to have somebody actually come and take, if I want to get like a new vehicle. Even just with a private owner, because they're considered salesmen at that point, I have to take somebody with me who does not have my issues, who are more knowledgeable. Reading's not hard for me, but I do have a tendency to daydream. And I found out they say that's considered manifesting your dream, or that's being intuitive, or being creative. I don't know, I see it as creepy, but when you live alone with a border collie and you've got your sewing projects, there's really nothing for you to do. You don't really have a social life, because a social life is like out and doing their own thing. And you don't harass the social life, which I have a very bad habit of trying to interact with at the wrong time. So I could like catch somebody when they're like extremely busy. Like I call my mom and go to chat with her and say, hey, how are you doing? You know, just talk like best friends. And mom's like, I'm at work, or I'm busy with something massive right now. Or just send me a text on whatever you want. Okay, I get that from a lot of people, and it can't be helped. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just what it is. So yeah, that's autism for you. So I do a lot of crocheting, knitting, sewing, like hand sewing and machine sewing. I love the outdoors. I do a lot of walking lately. I've just been going from here out to Medford, Oregon, and then back. And then I feel good afterwards. Granted, I get a couple blisters, and I get tired, and I get all stiff, and I'm that way for a couple days, and then I'm back at it again. I'm thinking that's the anxiety. Going to the mental health, I have anxiety and depression. For my anxiety and my depression is I'll drink chamomile tea. Actually, there's a couple here. Sometimes I will drink this. Go check them out. They're sweet ladies. They're very sweet. If you're in the area, go check them out. If you get on their website, buy from them. They're just amazing people. I also drink this. It's immunity tea, but at the same time, I haven't had any issues. Matter of fact, it's actually been beneficial. Rose hips, echinacea, mullein, roses. So, actually, I think that was the wrong company. No? They're two different women companies. This one is lemongrass, lemon balm, passion flower, skullcap, lavender, and rose petal. Loose tea. Homegrown loose tea. Amazing. Good stuff. I've also gone to Apothecary here in Ashland, Oregon, and they created me something where it doesn't just help with pain, but it also helps with, let's see if I can bring that down actually. Let's see here. So the ingredients on this tea that they created for me is calendula, lavender, willow bark, hyssop, I think I pronounced that right, peppermint, and basically you can put it in your bathtub as a tea bath. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Trust me, it's talk about pamper. Or you can brew it. But like, look at that. Look at that color. All these little brown pieces, that's your willow bark. That's the pain part. The rest is just like calm yourself there, dude. So I also get into sleepy time if I desperately need it. Most of the time this doesn't kick it in the tail end. I have to throw in extra. So yeah, there's that. So I drink tea. I go on really long walks. Yesterday I walked 8 miles. Just to keep myself mellow. I was in a good mood. I was going to, how do you say, enforce that, I think is the word. Encourage? I don't know. Anyways, I had to do it. So I did it. Been going to the library and getting books and reading a lot of self-help books. Learning to love and care for myself, and these books, they're helping me hugely so. Trying to stay in the present moment. Whether it be working on a sewing project, listening to music, listening to the scanner. I listen to the scanner. I don't know why. Somebody with anxiety should not be listening to the scanner. I listen to the scanner to see what's up, because I'm always hearing a cop zipping past me. And then I try to eat good food, but lately I haven't been eating good food, so that really doesn't help me. Yeah, so that's all me. There's going to be other videos coming up. I am going to try to work on the video for the rest of the sewing of the dress. Talking, and we brewed us some tea. We talking tea and we just brewed some tea, so ooh. Okay. So remove your tea bags, especially this big thing right here. You gotta remove it all. Put it down there. We can toss that when we're done. Crank on that water. Make sure it's cold. Oh, it smells good too. It smells strong. Got a little bit of bowl. So we gotta Lower it down just a little bit. Alright. Yogurt cups that I like to call shot glasses. Alright. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, please. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Stay out of trouble, stay safe. Think good things. Stay positive.